then we follow them for 3 or 4 years before we're able to learn which of the 2 groups did better.
So is this a really common model for a research study?
It isn't. So most research that happens in industry would be the common place where there's a product that is new out, and it would be most typical that studies like that would involve a very narrow patient population, so people who have the condition that you want to study, but exclude patients for whom there might be risks. So you might include someone who has heart disease if you're studying heart-related therapy, but you might exclude people who had chronic kidney disease. And that is somewhat problematic. Most randomized trials that exist exclude people who are complex or elderly. And so a big part of what we're doing by the letters going out to everybody in a physician's practice is we're really gathering information about the typical patient who a therapy is going to be offered to. It could be very different, if you're somebody who has a single medication and a single problem, which is often what people look like in randomized trials. The risk and benefit of a new medicine could be very different if you're somebody who is elderly, who has 5 or 6 conditions, 6 or 7 different medications. When you add that new medication into the mix, it can interact with any of those other conditions, any of those other medications. And so we really need information on those complex patients as well. So that's a big part of what it is that we're doing. The other thing that most trials that lead to drug approvals do is they can look not necessarily at the outcomes that patients and providers care about, which would be, are you going to have a stroke or not? Are you going to have a heart attack or not? They look at things like lowering sugar and lowering cholesterol. We don't really care about that. It's possible to lower those things and actually not improve outcomes. So we're using the measured claims data to go straight for the things that people actually care about, which are already being tracked, and we can make good use of them.
So what future goals do you have for the Pragmatic Trials Collaborative?
More studies. Each individual study takes quite a bit of time. We're doing a study right now about whether it matters what time of day you use blood pressure medicine called BedMed. But we're interested in other things like we call it polypharmacy reduction. So what that essentially means is if a lot of us believe that elderly patients on many medications might do better if their medications are reduced. And so that's a typical kind of trial which we would do. Get patients who have a large number of medications, offer for them to participate in a program where we try to reduce those, and again follow them for outcomes that matter to them, like do they get admitted to a nursing home, do they pass away, do they break their hip, those sorts of things. So those kinds of trials, things that are prevention for common conditions, or that are again looking at maybe inexpensive treatments for common conditions where there isn't yet a good therapy.
Oh, that sounds fantastic. Thanks very much for talking to me today.
Very welcome.